to the miscellaneous section on price action, I thought about a lot today what I would discuss, and I think a very good, uh, like not a mental model, but a very good trick or a problem-solving trick is to use constraint. Now, the idea of using constraint, I'm sure a lot of you have encountered in your daily lives as well, especially for someone like me who I have like a very my attention, I have like a it's a very short attention span. Like if I have too many options, then I sort of tend to uh, I tend to jump in from one to other. So that's an inherent quality in me, and I especially for someone like me, using constraint in my everyday life has been important, and the same thing also would help in trading. Now, what is constraint? Constraint means like like for example, if I had to write an article for the technical day, I am a big procrastinator, and so I would like not write that article, right? On top of that, you add the perfectionist syndrome. Ki, theek hai, matlab if I don't do something to the best of my ability, which I have in my mind, then that's the thing is shit. So to encounter to overcome all that, what help has been helping, and this is just an example, right? So you constrain yourself. Ki, theek hai, you have 30 minutes. You do your best in 30 minutes, and that's it. Then you don't think about it. You happy with whatever you have, right? So one example, so in trading, if you are still struggling in a lot of things, I think putting constraint into every part of your trading can help you a lot. So in what ways can we put constraint, right? You can put constraint everywhere. You can put constraint in your stock selection. So um, like a lot of you guys probably have been doing this, and I also have been trying my best to do that, is to constrain my stock selection to the only the relatively strong names in 2050 day time frame, which is the top 100 RS list. Sometimes I look a little beyond that, 120, 150 perhaps, but that still is a good stock selection constraint I am trying to put on my scanning. And a very good example of what happens when you put constraint is that you can then track a good setup. And the thing is, like, something which looks good to you today is not bound to break out tomorrow, right? Again, like a very good example is ITI. If you'd followed my alerts on the group, I have been talking about ITI since a week or even more. But that big candle came today, right? So constraining myself only to a particular list help me to be on it every day and not miss the perfect entry, right? So that is one thing. And stock selection slash scanning, of course you can scan the whole universe, whole 500 names perhaps in the weekend, just to get an idea of what the whole universe is doing. Uh, but it could be too much. So putting constraint in stock selection is something which, if your mind is all over the place, just constrain it. The second place where you can get in constraint is the time frame. Okay, now there are two sides to the equation. One is like, okay, you will do time frame analysis. You will go to monthly, then come to weekly, then come to daily. And okay, I'm speaking for myself here. I cannot do that for everything, especially if I'm going through 100 names. So if you just constrain your activities, your stock selection time frame to just one time frame, it'll be more, uh, it'll be more, uniform. Like, okay, so okay, I will scan everything on daily, and for a better entry, I will perhaps go to an intraday time frame, which is 25, not 75 and 25 and XYZ, just one. I mean, for me that is 25. For you, that can be 4 hour. Some people like 75 minutes, and so on and so forth. So constrain your time frame. Okay. Another way you can bring in constraint in your trading is by constraining yourself to a fixed number of stocks. You know, like for me now, I mean, at some point of time, I used to have a lot of setups. Sorry, not not setups, positions. I mean, I remember myself while I was like a beginner, absolute beginner. I had at the peak of my post-COVID prowess, 52 names holding, and like barely having 5% allocation to the biggest allocation, right? So the problems are, the more number of stocks you have, then the more number of decisions you have to make. And trust me when I say this, your brain does not like multiple threads going on in your head. So I mean, women are a little different. I feel they can handle more threads. Uh, I think that there's also some scientific background. Okay, I'm not being politically incorrect here. So constraining yourself to the number of position is also a good thing. So for me, that is maximum 4 or 5. Uh, and in positional setups, I think I will constrain it to 10, not more than that. Many people also have like even smaller, like 2 or 3 positions. You can also constrain yourself in trading in the kind of setups you trade, right? So I am trying to constrain myself. Like there are honestly number of setups, kind of setups you can have like 10, 20. everything is set up, right? Setup is nothing but a bunch of rules brought in together. So you can have X, Y, Z kind of setups, different variations of setups. But mota, what I try to do is PVCs now. PVCs. I have really started developing a taste for PVCs. They offer extremely low risk, and PVCs on the stronger names are even better. So PVCs and big base breakouts, right? Big base breakouts more so for the positional names. So constraint is something which I thought I would discuss. And yeah, you guys can add more to the list. I'm sure there are more ways that one can constrain yourself, and all of this ultimately would lead to a better trading, in my opinion. Okay, just to finish up, I would again reiterate two things.